All right, here's another story about Jimmy Duff. Anyway, Jimmy didn't get married until he was 30 years old. So on one of my trips back from either New York State, Pennsylvania, or Delaware, we're kicking around, telling stories, walking downtown in Singac. And he mentions that he belonged to the European Health Spa, this new health spa that was opened up. And it was just out of side of town. And so I said, how do you like it? I haven't been here. He's been a member for like 5 months. He hasn't been there yet. So he says, and he's been paying. So he said, hey, let's go over. So we go back home, get our stuff, go over to the spa. And it had all kinds of stuff. It was really nicely done. And anyway, we tried everything. The European had a little like a sauna, and then it had this plunge, freezing cold water. Whew. Anyway, we did everything. We did almost everything anyway in the place. Tried everything out, and we come back home. So he finally broke the ice and went to the place. Well, I go back to wherever, and if I find out, this is later on, I find out that a couple weeks later he goes back to the health spa. And he's going through, checking out stuff that we missed. And one of the things that he finds is they got these tanning booths in there. So he goes, hey, I think I'll use the tanning booth, right? Now, does he read any of the instructions? No. Forget that. So he goes, and he goes in the tanning booth, and he sits back, relaxes, takes it easy. And he's in there for quite a while. Anyway, he's finally done. He gets out, gets changed, finally goes home, and everything's fine, right? Until the next morning. He wakes up the next morning. He cannot see. He can't see. He's basically blind. So he gets up, and he really can't see. He kind of staggers out, and he just hollers out to Aunt Kay, hey, Aunt Kay. And she's, yeah, what? Could you make me a doctor's appointment? And she says, sure. When would you like the appointment? He says, today. So she goes, really? He says, yeah, I need you to drive me down there. He had to drive him down. He couldn't see. He goes down to Dr. Maybe's. And Dr. Maybe finds out that he burnt like the first layer of material in your eye. He basically had to have it, had to put salve on it and stuff like that to basically remove it eventually. It took a while, but finally he was able to get back to his regular sight, which wasn't great, but his regular sight was pretty good. But yeah, no, he never reads anything. He just goes in, takes it. And the doctor said to him, he says, places like that, they usually have like a bell that goes off every couple of minutes. You're supposed to be in there like 3 minutes or something like that. There's a bell goes off. Jimmy goes, oh yeah, I remember that bell going off. Yeah, went off 4 or 5 times while I was in there. 4 or 5 times. The doctor's like, oh yeah, no wonder, Anyway, and Dr. Maybe knew us forever, we were little babies. Anyway, that'll give you another indication of the kind of fun we had when we were kids, if that's fun, right?